Greetings, Zimbabwe, Africa, and the world. Welcome to In Conversation with Trevor, brought to you by Titan Law. I go beyond the headlines and beyond the sensational. Today, I'm in conversation with Nyaradzo Dhliwayo, the founder and chief executive officer of Yanaya, a healthy lifestyle. Enjoy this inspirational conversation. Nyaradzo Dhliwayo, welcome to In Conversation with Trevor. I'm so happy to have you here. I love talking to young people who are making waves, and you are doing great stuff, and I'm looking forward to sharing this conversation with the rest of the world.
Thank you very much for having me.
So you're 29 years old. You are the founder and CEO of Yanaya, a healthy lifestyle, which is a food bar, the first of its kind in Zimbabwe. You are an award-winning creative designer. You're a photographer. You are many other things. We'll get to talk about that. How is it like, living your life and doing what you're doing right now?
I think it's an understanding of purpose in our lives, what God calls us to do, that every day you wake up and you're saying, God, how are you going to order my steps to fulfill the God-given calling that I have in my life?
So God is important in your life.
Very, very pivotal in my life, in everything that I do.
Talk to me about that some more.
Well, I was raised Christian. My mom was a very staunch Christian. I'll tell you that growing up, we didn't watch secular TV at our house. We only watched Christian TV. It was a very, very strict Christian home. So that shaped a lot of my views now, though at the time I didn't like it. It was boring. I didn't go to any party, other things that young people would do. I'm grateful now for the way my mother brought us. So, yeah.
You're grateful now for the way your mother brought you. In what way? How has that helped you in dealing with life?
I think it has anchored my life, anchored on principles that I think are helping me in all the endeavors that we're doing. One of my mom's favorite statements is that in everything that you do it with all your might and all your power. I was very young, and she would say stuff like, spirit of excellence. If Jesus passes by here, is he going to be happy? So it rings at the back of my mind that everything that I'm doing, even though someone is not going to come and check, but God being all sovereign, he's going to come and check, and I should make sure that God is happy with everything that I do.
I think Jesus is happy with what you're doing.
Jesus must be happy, and I'm sure my mother is proud.
That's good.
Yeah.
So tell me, share with us when that first moment, when the idea to start Yanaya food bar and restaurant, how did it happen, and how did it grow on you? Do you recall?
Yeah, I remember. So when I was about 18, a friend of mine was diagnosed of cancer. Well, he was diagnosed earlier when he was around 16. So for 3 years, he battled with cancer. Towards the end of his life, they then recommended him to go on a plant-based diet. So as a way of motivating him to say, you can do this, we all then started doing a plant-based diet in our food. Unfortunately, he didn't make it, but post him dying, it was something that then I said, I'm going to do it in remembrance of my friend. But also, being Adventist, we're very big on healthy eating. So from that point, because we also come from the other side of Samora, we cannot afford going to the other side of Samora. To get something that is healthy from the other side of Samora it wasn't easily accessible. So I'd always said, I'm going to create some way where I can enjoy eating plant-based food. Easy on my pocket.
And the name?
Yanaya. So it's two-pronged. It literally just means Vura Yanaya. Freshness has come. It's also Hebrew, meaning an answered prayer. So when it then finally happened to say, now we can open something, just to say, God, I've had this prayer for the longest time. It has been answered, but also we are bringing freshness to everyone.
And so you started off as helping a friend, standing with a friend. When did it become a business idea?
I like money. So I went to school in South Africa. I was at Stellenbosch. So whilst I was at school, this was after my friend had died, I was vegan. So we had a lot of options of places to go out to eat. As students, you're not cooking a lot. But when I was done with school and I came back to Zimbabwe, like I said, coming from the other side of Samora, I didn't have anywhere I could go and eat and not eat fries and coleslaw and the Greek salad. So it was then that I thought, look, there's an opportunity in the market that I can capitalize on and create something. Yeah.
And who did you find people encouraging you? Did you find people saying, no, it can't be done? Talk to me about that.
Okay, so it was a balance. You had people that would say, people will only buy salsa. This is not a need. This is a luxury. People are not going to spend money on a smoothie. No, they would rather buy water or buy Coca-Cola, not a smoothie. But also was encouraged with other friends, because when we started the business, we didn't just start with a restaurant. I was doing home deliveries from my flat. So I'd cook at home. I knew a couple of people that were vegetarians and do lunch deliveries around town. Yeah.
What is it that made you? I mean, you're helping a friend. You think there's a window of opportunity there. What is it that triggered it to you that let me go for it, even with people saying no, it can't be done?
There were people that needed the product, so it was a solution for myself first, something that I can eat and enjoy, and also to check, look, do you like this? And they liked it. So every other day I would wake up and I have 10 orders, 10 plates. I'll do it. Tomorrow it's 12, I'll do it. So that was the pushing factor to say, actually, you can do it, even though there are naysayers, but there is need in the market for people that are looking for something healthy. Yeah.
And when did you then pivot from doing it from home? So perhaps before I go there, were you working? Did you have another job when you're doing this?
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I came back from South Africa, I came back and I started working at Seedco. I was the digital marketing officer there. Really grateful for my experience there, because it taught me a lot of things that I'm now implementing as we're growing Yanaya. So I spent 3 years at Seedco. For the 3 years that I was at Seedco, that's when I was doing the deliveries.
Wow.
Yeah.
For the entire 3 years,
Yes.
you were doing food deliveries.
Yeah.
When did you then decide, no, I am enough of Seedco, they've done wonderful with me, but I'm ready to step out? When did you do that?
Okay, so like I said, we didn't start with a restaurant. We then did a booth. In simple terms, we put in Msika. It was an open bar, Joiner City. We cook whilst you're watching. It was something that people had never seen, so it was fascinating. We ran the bar for 7 months. The entire time I was still at Seedco, because I was scared to leave my job, a good paying job. I was young, and then I'm going to do this, which we were not sure it was going to work, because you still had a lot of people that were saying, it's not going to go anywhere. We've seen people try things, food, the spending power is limited, so it's not going to go anywhere. So I stayed at Seedco for 7 months whilst we ran the bar, and I only resigned in 2020 in February.
What gave you the confidence that now I can jump, now I can do it?
I wasn't confident when I did it, but I had to, because operating it whilst I wasn't there was becoming difficult every other day, because I needed to be there to liaise with the customers, get feedback, managing the people that were on the ground. As a small operation, it was now difficult for me to do it whilst I'm at work. Yeah.
Well, so what advice would you give to young people like you who face that kind of tension. I've started something. My one leg is this side. I'm working. I need to make the move. What went through your mind and what helped you make this decision?
Did you say start? Whatever idea that you have, it's only going to work when you're there, because you don't know what you don't know. You're only going to know it when you know it. So you have to know it when you're doing it. There's no reading that's enough for you to know that this is how I run a business, or these are the challenges that I'm going to face, and this is how I can block the challenges from affecting me. So you're going to learn every other day. You put a block, you realize, no, this block doesn't fit here. Let's take it out. Let's put a different one. So you're only going to learn through experience. So if you have ideas, do it. Yeah.
And I read somewhere that this whole enterprise, you're now talk of the town, if not talk of the country.
Thank you.
And it all started with your grocery money, 50 US dollars.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So when I started, when I was doing the deliveries, we didn't have any capital. You have nothing. So I had $50 that I had. Went and bought grocery to cook for tomorrow's deliveries. Sold tomorrow's deliveries. What I had sold, bought grocery again. So we're just building, bootstrapping, building up.
So you're basically saying to somebody who is out there, if you've got, start where you are.
Start where you
with
are.
what you have.
Start with what you have, because you could have $1 million and you're always going to have excuses. Yeah.
Wow. And so you went, what's interesting for me is that you actually went to Stellenbosch University and you studied design, am I right?
Yes.
And has that been a painful transition? Has that been natural? I mean, this is food for somebody who did design, photography and that kind of stuff. Has that been a huge shift for you?
No, it hasn't been. So all our stores, I DIY them. So the design works. The branding for our flyers and our design for social media, I get to use my experience of what I studied to implement it in the business. I work with brilliant chefs that my ideas of the food, they execute them. But because I come from a very design background, it's to make sure that, can your plate look colorful? Can it look appetizing for me to be able to want to eat what you have put in your plate? Because you have a lot of people that think that healthy food is boring, healthy food is not nice. So our duty is to change that perception, to change that mindset that healthy food is not boring. You can eat healthy and it can be exciting.
So let's go back to when you are still in your apartment and you are preparing these orders. What products did you start with?
The very first meal I made was fried wheat.
Fried wheat?
Yes, because we're saying that it's supposed to be healthy.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be refined.
Yeah.
So it's a meal that I personally enjoyed. It's a whole grain, and you want to play around with it so that it's palatable. So I made fried wheat the very first time, and to the people that we delivered to, everyone was like, "What? This is nice. We didn't know that we could eat wheat in that way." So yeah, we try to use superfoods, indigenous foods that we can find around, and play around with them so that they are palatable, but also not compromising on taste, on flavor, or on quality.
And then you went, which other product did you go on to?
Played with a lot of grains,
Yeah.
barley, bulgur, quinoa, couscous, mapunde, shio, just trying different recipes to make sure that when someone is eating, then they're not only eating vegetables, but they're eating vegetables with a grain, with something to make sure that they're feeling. Yeah.
And then you went into, did you start doing juices already, or
No.
juices came down the line?
Juices came down the line.
Yeah.
When we then opened the bar, we started doing our smoothies and our juices. I loved smoothies when I was in South Africa and getting them from Koi, and I knew you could get smoothies from Food Lovers, but I thought, no, we can create a better tasting product, better than what Food Lovers is doing.
Where did you get that confidence from?
I don't think it's confidence. Yeah. I don't know the word, what it's called. I don't know.
You don't think it's confidence. What is it? Is it faith? What is it?
I suppose it's confidence, but with a lot of tenacity and determination. You know, things that tell you that this is not going to work, but something that is stronger that just tells you no. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I'm going to do it.
So let's get into the products that you brought us. So this is freshly blended fruits. What is this?
That's masao. Yeah. So we found a way to de-seed the masao.
This is beautiful.
I'm glad you like it.
Lovely.
It's like my favorite. I always say to people, it's the plug. It does the things that the pots can be done.
And this one?
That's berries.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got your strawberries, your raspberries, your blueberries in there.
Berries smoothie.
Yeah.
And the next one?
That's baobab.
Okay.
Mawuyu. Yeah.
And the next one?
That's pineapple juice, freshly squeezed.
Is this all the juices that you're doing, or this is just part of it?
This is just part of them. We have quite a number of options that you can choose from because people like different fruits. So we try and cater to people with different tastes. Others like sweet stuff, others like your sour stuff, others like your more quieter stuff, others like your exotic things. So we try to cover everyone. We try to use fruits that are in season at the time.
And which ones have you found have found a big following in the market?
So we recently launched the traditional ones, the masao, the nyi, and the tsubu one. Those are selling like hotcakes.
Wow.
But before we had done those, people liked the mango one, the baobab one, and the berry ones.
And what made you go for our traditional fruits?
Well, it's with the idea that we have a lot of indigenous resources that we can commercialize and use. A lot of people like these traditional fruits, but you will not find them in your mainstream fast food industry. So it's to tap into that, find the nutritional value, and also to cater to people with different tastes.
Wow. And the food, you brought us some lovely food here. It's still actually, it's still hot. What is this?
So that is a sandwich.
It's just a sandwich, okay. And this?
That's a tofu Nourish ball, because we cater to vegans and we cater to vegetarians. You want to give them something that is filling, something that is nourishing, and something that tastes quite nice.
And have you gotten a sense that we've got a lot of people that are vegans in Zimbabwe right now in Harare?
The numbers are rising. We don't necessarily have a lot of people that are vegans. Zimbabweans love their meat.
Right? That's why I'm asking,
However, you have a lot of people that are now health conscious. Outside of people being health conscious, you have people that have health conditions that they don't know what to eat for. Like you have people that are lactose intolerant, that then everything that you find in the market has dairy. You have people that are diabetic, and when they want to eat out, you don't find anything that is tailored for diabetic people. You have people that have other ailments, that have specific food needs. People that are trying to lose weight, people that are on banting diets, people that are on keto diets, that if you don't cook for yourself, you don't get this anywhere else. So we are trying to cater to people that have that. So we're going to give you your meat, but with a lot of vegetables.
And this is...
That's a bunless burger, one of our best sellers.
Bunless burger?
Yes.
And where did the idea come from for a bunless burger?
I don't like bread. So I'm just like, what can we create that doesn't have the bread, but is still filling, and you can still sell to someone?
You know, what I find fascinating about you is that you have created a business based on solving the problems that you as a person have faced and encountered.
I guess that's the best way to go about it, because I'm crafting solutions that cater to my needs. If it doesn't work out, it's going to work out for me. If you don't come to buy, I'm going to eat the food.
and this?
Those are our wraps.
Those are your wraps.
Yeah.
And talk to me about the wraps.
So wraps, we have wraps that we use banting flour. So for people that are on banting diet, you don't get your refined wrap. So it's still something that you enjoy, but that is crafted to ensure that it helps your body. Yeah.
And you actually have, you are the only restaurant, I gather, that has physician approved and recommended diets. Talk to me about that. How have you been able to do that?
Because I don't come from a medical background, we needed to get an opinion of doctors, nutritionists, to say that when we say that our meals are diabetic friendly, what are we going to use to sweeten the food that is diabetic friendly? When we are doing our Bantu meals, what is it that is going to help with metabolism and help you lose the stomach? I'm not saying the stomach. Yeah, but we needed to get an opinion from someone that is an expert in the field that endorses our meals, to say what we're saying, what we're selling is true.
And how do you source the ingredients?
So we work with farmers around. For example, our bananas, we get them from Honda Valley. We work with female farmers, we work with young farmers. So we have suppliers that supply us with different things depending on where they are. We get our oranges from Mazoe. We have farmers that we work from there. Our baobab powder comes from Binga. We have farmers that we work with from there. So we get our resources from different parts of the country.
And how long has the business been running, by the way?
Formally, it has been running. This is our second year. Informally, this is our sixth year, because we started doing the delivery 6 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, we count 6 years.
Yeah.
And how many people do you employ now?
Currently, we employ over 70 people. Yeah.
With, I gather you have about 60% of those are women?
Yes.
Is that deliberate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think that the conversation has been going around, and you have a lot of women movements now that are propping up to empower women, to ensure that I'm not going to come to you to look for a sugar daddy because I need sourcing for something, but that I can work for myself. I can make something out of myself without needing someone to finance me, finance my dreams, or finance my life.
And how many outlets do you have now?
So in total, we have 7. We have
7 outlets?
Yes.
And where are they?
So we have 3 physical locations that you can walk to. We have 3 private locations, and we have 1 virtual location. Our website, we call it a location because you can order from there, and we deliver across Harare anyway. Fastest delivery, cheapest delivery around town.
So you said how many shops do you have, and where are they located?
Well, with 3 physical locations. We have one branch at Joina City, 2nd floor next to State.
Joina City was your first one.
Joina City was
this
our
must
first
be special,
one.
eh?
It's very close to my heart.
Right.
We've got a location in the Avenues along Blackiston, next to Lancet, and then we've got a location at Avondale, Riverside Walk, next to Pick and Pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
We're really grateful for the support that we've been getting from the general populace. We had forecasted and thought this is how the business is going to do, but we have tripled our forecasts and our expectations.
Wow.
People have received the product, and the support that people are just giving us to say it's another young person doing something. Really, really grateful. It's good to live in a Zimbabwe that I'm living in today. Yeah.
It's good to live in a Zimbabwe where we have young people like you giving us the hope that you're giving us. You know, one thing that you've done is my family, my wife and my daughter and I, we're lactose intolerant.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that we're lactose intolerant means that finally we found somebody who's going to be making food that we enjoy. I think that's what you've done. You know, you've hit a sweet spot, which I pray that continues to propel you.
I hope so.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, that's fascinating. And another thing, the other thing that has struck me is how socially conscious and mature your business is. You have this thing that you say you are zero food waste. I mean, I haven't had a lot of restaurants in Harare talking about that. What's the thinking around that, and how do you achieve it?
The 2030 SDG goals.
There you go.
To ensure that everything that is waste because we want to sustain the people that we are working with, our employees, the farmers, to ensure that the value chain benefits everyone. So, for example, when we do our juices, the pulp, we don't throw it away, then we use it as manure. We have women that do our herbs around Harare, so we give them, instead of having them buy manure, then our herbs are no longer organic. When we give them the pulp, it means that the whole circle of our business, we have control over it. And then when we sell to you, we're selling to you something that we are aware of.
And you are actually mentoring other young women. Walk us through what made you do that. I mean, you're 29. You've been very successful over the past 6 years, and you've decided to mentor other people. Walk us through the thinking process and how what has been the impact of that mentorship.
So when I was younger, I wanted to have role models, someone that I can go to. As a creative, you would have a lot of ideas. I want to try this, I want to try that. And I didn't have that opportunity to be able to speak to someone. So then when I was in a position that I could mentor someone and help someone to make sure that they make the right decisions with their life, with their careers, I saw it fit that I should mentor young people. Also in my position as a pastor's wife, I have a lot of young girls that look up to me to say, if Nyari can do it, then I can do it. So it is my duty and my obligation to make sure that they make it.
And I gather some of them actually have started their own shops.
Yes,
Talk to me about that.
yes. So when we started when we had the booth, all of the people that I worked with, it was all girls. They have gone out and they've started their own enterprises.
That must make you proud.
Very much, very much. And I'm the biggest supporter. If they're selling anything, I'm just there to ensure that they also become successful.
Who mentors Nyaradzo?
I've got a number of mentors.
Right.
Yes.
Talk to me about that experience.
It's good to have someone that you can bounce off ideas on, such that you don't make bad decisions. That when you call me and say, Nyari, come for an interview, I'd call my mentor and say, Trevor, Noe has asked me to come. It's exciting. Are there things that I should say? Are there things that I shouldn't say? What are we saying about the brand? What do we want to push forward as a message? So it's great to have older people, big sisters I call them, that are always looking out for me so that I don't make mistakes that they probably have made in their lives. Because they've made them, I don't have to make them.
What's the other thing that has surprised me about you is the fact that you have an honors degree from Stellenbosch, like I said, in design and photography, but you're excelling in the restaurant industry.
I guess it works together because I've got the visual mind. When we present the food, it has to look presentable because I'm just thinking images. How is this going to look on the picture? Branding, when we do our logos, when all our information goes out, I'm thinking, okay, is the font right? Is it readable? Is it placed well? So I think it works well together with the food, with the photography, and with the design.
And the recipes?
And the recipes, so because I had been vegetarian, vegan myself, I always want to make sure that whatever we're selling, it's something that I enjoy. Yeah.
Well, what has surprised you about Nyaradzo?
It's the determination to say, we're going to do this. Whatever that is going to come, we're going to fight. We don't have a seat on the table, but we're going to bring a chair and make sure that they create space for us on the table.
And do you think that your design and photography is suffering because of your passion for food, or both of them are flourishing at the same time?
I think the photography is suffering. I think the photography is suffering, yeah. I've actually been thinking I should do something to just revive that.
Talk to me about that part of your life, the creative work and photography. You're an award-winning photographer,
Yes,
am I
yes,
right?
yes, yeah.
And what kind of pieces have you done before, as far as photography is concerned?
So I'm a fine art photographer. I shoot for art's sake, art for art's sake,
Wow.
the genius in the art. So I've exhibited here at the National Gallery, I've exhibited in South Africa, I've exhibited in Italy, I've exhibited in Germany, I've exhibited across the world.
So that's suffering right now because
Yeah,
you're not
that's
focusing on
suffering
that.
because I'm not focusing on that.
What are you going to do about that?
I should work on a project. I should
Do you
work on a
feel?
project.
Do you feel that you should do that, or you're thinking that as far as you're concerned, this is it. You found this. The design comes in, a bit of photography comes in, the food and stuff. Maybe the professional photography stuff might just hang around there.
No, it can't die.
It can't die.
Yeah.
So what are the plans there?
I've been looking to apply for biennials.
Okay.
So something that is going to take me away as I also rest from running the business. I just take some time out taking pictures in a different country.
You're so talented, eh?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What's been the biggest business lesson that you've learned?
Cash flow is king.
Aha.
Yeah.
And for a designer, photographer, person passionate about food, that must be a new concept for you.
Very much, because I'm not a numbers person.
Yeah.
For me, it needs to look nice. You know, the food, is it tasty? Is it looking nice? But business is far, far much more than that.
How are you coping with, we're having to deal with cash issues? Cash is king for a designer because creative people can run away with their ideas, isn't it?
Yeah. I have an amazing team around me that allows me to thrive as a creative, and then they manage the aspects that I don't do well at. My husband is very supportive, and we complement each other. I am the creative one, the one that thinks the ideas. He's the one that holds everything down. Saying, okay, you're pushing it, come back.
He's a pastor.
Yes.
Is he an accountant too, or?
No, he's not an accountant.
Okay, he's a pastor.
Yeah.
Any mistakes? Have you made any mistakes so far?
A lot of them. A lot of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And share a couple with us that have taught you some tough lessons.
Choosing the team to work with.
Right.
Also, in the restaurant industry, location is key, and we've struggled to get the right location. The location that we started with worked for us to start, but as the business is growing, we're realizing that no, actually that location wasn't the best location for what we're trying to achieve. Yeah.
And what's your dream for Yanaya in the next 5 to 10 years? Have you thought about that, or you're just busy living your life right now?
I think about it sometimes. We would like to grow the manufacturing side, looking at our indigenous fruits and see what we can get out of them to commercialize them. Our off-the-shelf dairy-free yogurt is doing very well on the market. We get the coconuts from Motare, Chimani from there. So we're looking to say, how else can we use local products to create products that cater for plant-based people? Yeah.
And let me take you back now. Where were you born, and where did you go to school?
I'm a proud Mashingo girl. Huh?
Right. Bikita, hey?
Bikita, yes.
Right.
So I was born and bred in Dhliwayo because my dad, when he was done at Poly, he went and worked in Dhliwayo. So I was born and bred there. We moved to Mashonaland. We stayed in Marondera, again a small town girl. We stayed in Marondera, and then my family moved to South Africa.
Right.
Yeah.
And which schools did you attend in South Africa?
Stellenbosch.
Stellenbosch. High school, secondary?
High school, secondary, I was at Nagel House. Nagel House girls are in Marondera.
Right.
And university, I was at Stellenbosch.
Stellenbosch. A beautiful university.
It is.
World class.
I miss that place every day.
Can you speak Afrikaans?
No. I'll be betraying my ancestors.
You know, I talked about being socially conscious. You have you've been very busy during the COVID pandemic season that we are all in right now, and Yanaya has reached out to hospitals, to frontline workers. Talk to us about that. What you've been able to do and why you're doing it.
Okay, because you know when COVID came,
I must take a sip of this. This is beautiful.
Thank you. We also were looking out to say what can we do to help alleviate the challenges. I mean, people are going through difficult times. So ours was to say, with the products that we're offering, let us go and give frontline workers food, because your health is your wealth and you are what you eat. So yes, they're going to take vaccines, yes, they're going to do whatever. But remember also during COVID, there was a spike and people were chinatira, your gingers, your zumbani. So we're now just packaging it for them to say outside of your zumbani or outside of you can put these food combinations together. That's why we had to physician approve our meals, because when we're putting together the combinations, we say, okay, this is an immune booster. It's going to help boost your immune system. In case you're infected by the virus, your immune system is better prepared to deal with it. Even the meals that we were preparing for the frontline workers, they were all crafted and custom made to ensure that it helps their bodies to better prepare them if ever they were to get infected with the virus.
What do you, I mean, I must tell you how proud I am of you.
Thank you very much.
Watching you do the stuff that you're doing and listening to you right now.
Thank you.
And like I'm saying, you know, I'm looking at a 29-year-old who's doing this great work. What do you say to your generation who are looking at you now and are battling with the economic situation and are saying it's difficult to get in, it's difficult to break through, but you've come in from Stellenbosch inside 6 years and you're making a name for yourself. What do you have to share with them?
They're never going to create space for us at the table. Either we're going to create our own table or going to carry our own chairs to the table to just say, look, we are here, make space for us, we are here. So we really have to fight to ensure that spaces are created for us. If quotations will say that, you know, if there's no door, create your own door, go through the window, go through the downstairs. Whatever it takes, we have to fight to ensure that there is space for us at the table.
What Nyaradzo, what do you think explains your success when you sit down in quietness and solitude as you reflect? What explains your success?
God. God, grace. Nothing really. We can say, no, I fought, no, I was determined. None of that. I really just think God orders our steps. He has a will for each and every one of our lives. And wherever we can run to, we're always going to go back to God's will for our lives. So I think my success, which I don't think is success, has happened because God has ordered our steps to get to the place that we're at.
Do you remember what made you choose to study design and photography at Stellenbosch? I mean, this is not history. This is not English. Design and photography. What made you choose that combination?
So growing up, I didn't want to become a doctor. I didn't want to become an accountant. I didn't know what I wanted to become, but I knew I wanted to be something different. So I would say, doctor, no, I can't work with patients. Accountant, no, I don't like numbers. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. When now I had to choose, my parents wanted me to do economics. But I'm just like, economics. I would be bored and I would leave it. I don't want to start something and leave it. So when we went to the open day and we were going through the different departments, went to the arts department and I saw photography and design. I thought, wow, this is interesting. I asked the lecturer at the time if I could do it. I could do it and take a gap year and do it just for a year, just for the experience and stuff. So I did the year. Before the year ended, I just told my parents, this is what I want to do.
And what did they say?
My dad was very supportive. He's like, okay, go for it.
And mom?
My mom wasn't supportive at first because remember she's a very staunch Christian woman. She's praying for her daughter. She has dreams for me. I was supposed to do economics, become an economist somewhere. So she wasn't very supportive, but she's my greatest supporter now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, you've been hugely successful. I mean, you say you don't think this is success, but hugely successful.
Thank you.
What do you think Yanaya is going to look like? Yanaya is going to look like in the next 5 years. Do you have regional expansion? I mean, most of the shops, all the shops that you have at the moment are in Harare.
Yes, yes.
What do you have for national footprint and regional footprint? Is that something that you're looking at?
Yes, definitely. We should be, in the short term, we are looking to open something in Bulawayo, Victoria Falls, Ugeru, and then go beyond Zimbabwe into neighboring countries. And we're also looking to grow our manufacturing side, also to increase that footprint within Zimbabwe and within the region and beyond, God willing.
I mean, you've been so successful in a very tough economic environment. How have you been able to navigate the economy and the difficulties? Share that with us.
It has been tough because we've had to bootstrap for our growth, our everything. So it has been difficult, but I just think, like I said, I credit the success to God, that regardless of the economy being difficult, COVID, where we were closed the whole year, some power beyond us, we've managed to stay afloat and continue running the business.
I always bring this issue up when I'm talking to young people like you, because you could be doing this anywhere in the world with your Stellenbosch qualifications. So, any regrets for having come home?
No, I don't regret coming home because I got back and I got married.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Congratulations. And then you got into business?
And then I got into business with the love of my life. So, no, I don't regret. Living outside the country, you're always marginalized. Stellenbosch is very big on racism. I experienced it, but the greatest for me was the fact that I didn't have an identity. I was just a black girl from Zimbabwe. And that experience leaves you changed, and you never go back to becoming a normal person again. So coming back home, it's a place where I belong, a place where I can make an impact, a place where I can speak to you.
Right.
Yes.
Awesome. Wonderful. Nyaradzo, we love books on this show. And, I'm sure you knew when you came here that we would ask you. What books have you read that have impacted on you? I know that you read the Bible almost every day as a pastor's wife. What books have you read that you'd want to recommend to our viewers?
Okay, the first one is called The Desire of Ages.
The Desire for Ages.
The Desire of Ages.
Okay.
It speaks about the life of Jesus. You get to understand Jesus as human, as a friend, as a brother, as a provider, and as a...
Who wrote that book? Do you remember?
Ellen G. White.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my top pick.
Okay.
The Desire of Ages. I've read it over and over again, and every time I read it, I have an understanding of Jesus from a different light, different circumstances, different situations that speaks to me and ministers to me in different seasons of my life. Yeah.
And the other one?
The 5 a.m. Club.
Ah, right.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. I think because I'm a creative, reading the 5 a.m. Club and implementing it in my life, it really powers up my day. It clears my head. It clears my mind. That I just get into the creative zone and I'm off it.
It's an amazing book, hey?
Definitely.
I've read it for the second time. I've just finished it. It's an amazing book.
It is.
Any other book?
Who Moved My Cheese?
All right. Okay.
I know it's small, not complex, not complicated, but just looking at change, how you change, because in business a lot of things are not going to work. So for me, it has helped me to say, okay, nothing is ever constant. You always have to be changing. So now our menus are seasonal, because if we say we're going to serve you mango, what happens when you don't have mango in season? So who moved my cheese will be my big pick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, Nyaradzo, talking to you has been so inspirational for me. And, you know, I think we could change this country. I have no doubt we could change this country into a better country if we had, if we could clone you and produce another 100 Nyaradzos out there. Your attitude, your go-getter attitude.
Thank you.
We wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
We look forward to having you here when you've expanded across the country and into the region, and your photography and design is blooming, and the restaurants are flourishing. So thank you so much for creating the time to join us on In Conversation with Trevor.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for the support. Really grateful.
Wonderful. Allow me now to tend to our viewers who are in Zimbabwe, on the continent, and all over the diaspora. Thank you for watching In Conversation with Trevor. We're out every Monday, 7 a.m. Central African Time. To ensure that you don't miss out on these quality conversations, please click on this red button and subscribe, and you'll then get a notification every time we have one of these quality conversations. Until next time, cheers to you all.